So, here I was, watching PSG versus Reims, and Barcelona versus, who are they playing? Villarreal, I believe. And I was like, okay, good. I'm watching some football, having a good time. All right, cool. I'm sure the board are going to do their best to get us some players. And after the game finishes, I go on Twitter. As I always do. I go on Twitter. And the very first thing I see is this BS. And I say BS in the nicest way possible. It's that Leeds United are in advanced talks to sign Michael Croissants on a permanent deal from Bayern. 20 million offered. Personal terms between Leeds and Croissants have been agreed. Few details remain to be completed between the clubs, and that's from L'Equipe as well as Fabrizio Romano. Now, that's my reaction. So Bayern right now, you're telling me that Bayern right now, a team, not a squad, a team that needs three players at the minimum, is selling even more players. A team that needs a right back, a team that needs a winger, and a team that needs a midfielder. They said, you know what? Let's sell another midfielder. You can't be serious. Like, you can't be serious. I'm actually shocked. I am genuinely actually shocked. Now, let's not kid ourselves, all right? The club doesn't have as much money. The club doesn't have as much money as we would all like to believe. And what I mean with that is, it's very simple. I alluded to this in the past as well. When you have players, you give them bonuses, bonus contract. You've probably all heard about. Like, I think Müller earns 14 million plus free. Neuer earns, I think, 15 million plus free. It's plus free. That's what we're talking about. And usually those plus free is because of the It's because they get paid that in a Champions League victory. So I'm assuming the Champions League money that we've made has probably been paid on all the bonuses. All right, but I know Corona has also hit. But you cannot tell me that Sané and Kouassi are going to be the only two signings we're going to be making this summer. We've sold Thiago, all right? Perisic is gone. Coutinho is gone. And we haven't brought in anyone else. And now we're intending to sell even more players. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I genuinely don't understand. Like, why are we trying to get rid of more? Now, Croissant's potentially going. Seems very likely. Fabrizio Romano is saying that himself. And then you have the Javi situation where, like, is he going? Is he staying? I read a report saying that if Croissants is being sold, that Javi will have to stay. So we're not letting Javi go now. The person that wants regular game time, we're not letting him have that, despite him being such a great servant for the club. Croissant's leaving. Are we not going to have any midfielders? Like straight up, Kimmich has basically played last season. He basically played 96% of all our games. But he still had rest in between them. This season is going to be tougher. This season is going to be brutal. We've already noticed this. We're playing every 2-3 days. The likes of Kimmich, Neuer. I mean, Lewandowski got rest today, but the likes of those, they're going to be playing week in, week out. I mean, we're going to get injuries, right? The players that generally get injured, are injury-prone players. They're going to have it rough. They're going to have it rough. Now, the club is clearly trying to integrate a lot of youngsters, and I'm okay with that. But when you have injury-prone, like let's not kid ourselves right here. We have injury-prone players. Coman, perfect example, all right? I like the guy, but he's injury-prone. He gets back, is out for 2-3 months, and then gets back for 2-3 months, and then is out for 2-3 months again. He's injury-prone, all right? We need to have another winger. Otherwise, at this point, it's like if you get another winger, all right, you can put the youth in as a fifth wing choice. Coman's going to be injured. Sané, we don't know because Sané just came back from a massive injury, right? So we don't know how it's going to go. It's better to have too many players than not enough, and especially in this season. Other season, I would have been like, okay, you know what? Fair enough. We can work around it. But not when we're playing every 3 days. When we're playing every phrase, it goes to a point where it's like we don't have the squad depth at all. We don't have the squad depth for the Bundesliga alone. Alone for the DFB Pokal and the Champions League. At this point, it's just like, yeah, let's have some luck. That's basically what we're going for. Like, let's have some luck. Like, genuinely, it's like I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Milan Gasic, right? They need to bring in. Yeah, they need to bring in someone. I don't even know about 5, but they need to bring in someone. Maybe it is the cash we need for more fullback depth. Let's face it. If he wasn't gonna get much minutes anyway, I mean, he wasn't gonna get much anyway. But like, he was an option. That's the thing. He was an option. If he's being sold, we have one option less in an era where we need more options, and that's the big issue. Like you know, again, Kouassi, I think he's gonna get a lot more game time than people think, but who knows how he's going to integrate right away. You know, he might struggle for the first. Croissants, he at least had a season under us. He at least had some minutes under us. He at least has proved himself sort of under us. He at least is an option under us, you know. We can rely on him when he comes in. We can rely on him when he plays. Kouassi, he's very young. Hasn't had a single minute under us. So that's the issue. That right there is the issue, ladies and gentlemen, that like we're losing options right now. We're selling players. We're looking at selling even more players without bringing players in. At a point where the window closes in a week. Like 9 days, I think. It closes in 9 days. I think on the 5th of October, if I remember correctly. So 8 days. All right, 8 days. We've got 8 days to get players in. We need at least 3. We need another winger. We need a midfielder. And we need a friggin' right back. It's gonna be joyful. We're gonna rush it, and then we're gonna get. I don't know. We're gonna overpay for someone. You know, if we loan someone, I'm okay with that. Are we gonna loan someone at this stage in the season? At this stage of the transfer window, I don't think so. That's my issue. Like usually, I can always say, you know, we have 15, 16 players. At least we have options for each position. We don't really at the moment. Like if we get 2, 3 injuries, we're already at a point where it's like, now we're in trouble. Like now we're seriously in trouble. And 2, 3 injuries is nothing for us. Like look at last season, right? We were lucky last season. Let's not kid ourselves. We were lucky last season that all our injuries came at centre back. That's how we were looking at. All our injuries came at centre back. Because if our injuries came up front, we would have been screwed. Straight up, we would have been screwed. But because they all came at centre back, Davis never played as a left back. All right, let's put him in there. Alaba, our left back. Let's play you as centre back. Like we just kind of shifted things around, and it worked. But if we have those issues in midfield, or if we have those issues in attack, we're actually screwed. Like we're actually screwed. At that point, you might as well play Bayern too. Like straight up, just play all of them. And that's the annoying thing as well. By the way, I did not touch upon that, but that's the annoying thing as well. That the Bayern 2 squad. They can't play for the Bayern 2 squad. They're not getting minutes for the first team, and they're not getting minutes for the second team because they're always in our squad because we don't have any depth. So they can't get minutes. They can't get better in the Bayern 2 squad because we're playing them for the first squad. It's like, why? Like why? We should be able to. They should come in as an option. They shouldn't be there as an option that isn't getting minutes. That's the issue. They should be getting minutes right now to develop, to get better. I rate Musiala quite highly. I mean, I said it earlier. I think he was probably our best player. Honestly, I think he was probably our best. I'm not saying that because he's young, but I think he was generally one of our better players. And at this point, it's like, bro, would you not trust a 17-year-old kid, say in a Champions League quarter or Champions League semi? It's like, bro, like I want him to get minutes, all right? I want him to integrate into the squad. I don't want you to throw him to the largest lions and be like, yeah, you know what, kids, hey, sink or swim. Like, nah. That's ridiculous, all right? That's just ridiculous. There are some players where it works. Kimmich, I mean, but he wasn't that young. Kimmich, he was thrown in. All our centre backs were gone. He had to play centre back. It was like, it sort of worked, but like, he wasn't that young. He had experience, all right? I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. Musiala against, let's imagine, just an example, right? Musiala versus Real Madrid. Like, just an example, just putting that out there. Like, bro, come on. Like it's kind of ridiculous at one. It's just kind of ridiculous. That squad depth at the moment is 1 or 2 injuries, and we are genuinely out of it. We're genuinely out of it, right? We saw that today how tired our players were. They need a rest. Key players need rest. There are some players that have played every single minute, or that have played every single game, and it's just get those players some rest. Let those players, get into shape. Let those players, develop slowly, if they're very young, or let those players earn their fitness back slowly. Like Sané, for example, for me, he shouldn't be starting. He shouldn't be playing 90 minutes. He shouldn't be playing 70 minutes. He just came back from a massive injury. To me, he should be getting integrated into the squad slowly. Have 20 minutes here at the end of the game, have 30 minutes, and then let him play one half, and then you can let him play 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes, right? But that wasn't, he just was thrown right into it. Coleman right now, we're thrown, I mean, he's not injured or anything, but like we're throwing him into it as well. It's just things like that where I'm just like, we should be doing much better. Like Flick has won us the treble, the quadruple, I guess at this point. We should be giving him a squad where he can be comfortable with. All right, that's really what it is. A squad that he deserves, a squad that we deserve. I know Corona season, so on and so forth. I know it's difficult, but like if you look at the actual transfer fees, right, that have happened besides, let's forget Premier League transfers, right? Besides Premier League transfers, if you look at the actual transfer fees that have gone around this summer, right, they haven't been much, and honestly, Bayern we shouldn't be at this late into the transfer window not having signed it. We should be, we should have already done our business. We should have already signed 4, 5 players. That's that. Or loan 4, 5. I don't care. Just get 4, 5 players for the squad as options. And that's the issue. I would like to assume the board has new signings in mind. If we allow Croissants to leave, so would I. Obviously, the one option that has been in the news for the longest is Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's the one player. I think he's very raw. But I mean, if Salihamidzic, if Brazo thinks that fair enough. If he thinks it's good enough, then I will say fair enough. I don't mind at all. I want to know where all the Champions League money has gone. I mean, hey, we play wages. That's what it boils down to. But we don't even have the highest wage bill in Europe. But I don't understand. I know there is a premium. I know there is a bonus where if you win the Champions League, you pay players more. That's kind of how the salary works, as I already mentioned. But like at this point, it's just kind of ridiculous, honestly, that we don't have any money to spend besides the Sané transfer. Bro, buy and be broke. We need all the cash we can get. No fans as well, so let's cash. Alaba wants more money, keep our good players, and buy cheaper prospects. I mean, the Alaba deal seems like it's not going to happen, first of all. Straight up, like if you read all the reports, it's basically that Alaba, we offered him money, and if he doesn't take it, then we're not going to offer him anymore. And if he then wants to go for free next season, then so be it. But like, we're not breaking the bank to keep these players. We're not doing that in the slightest. We have our most expensive player in Lewandowski, who is at the reported 20 million euros a season, a year, and nobody's getting anything beyond that. And you know what? I say fair enough. That wage bill is the reason why we have such a successful team, such a successful wage structure, which is why we ideally have so much money to spend on players, even though we're not seeing it or noticing it in the slightest. At least bring us some players from Bayern to like. This is kind of the issue that I talked about. Like, we have the issue. Like, you look at some of our players that play today, I guess. They could have been playing 90 minutes with Bayern too, but they're not. They're being put into our squad and they're playing 30, 40 minutes, which is not bad. But like you would want them to play 70, 80, 90 minutes for Bayern too. And it's kind of like a fine line between, do you bring them with you with the first team or do you let them play with Bayern too? And, we did that on the first match day where they got some minutes for the first team and then the next day they played for Bayern too. But the issue with all that is that you have to find a fine balance, and that's usually when you have a large squad, so you can bring these players in. You know, they're not being forced to play. They're not coming in there as an emergency, and then you have to put them out again because it hasn't worked. The gamble hasn't worked. You know, they should be getting all the time in the world to develop, to get better. You know, so I felt a little bit. I'll be honest, I felt a little bit sorry for Zirkzee today. But you know, he was kind of put in that situation. He wasn't bad. He wasn't, you know, great either. But like, he's young. He should be getting a few minutes here and there with no pressure. Not like, oh, we need to rest players. We don't have an option. Hey, we're throwing you in there, like that kind of thing. You know, so that's an issue. We loaned some players from big clubs. Coutinho, Coutinho and James. I think so as well. Like, I do think we're gonna loan players. I think, you know, the big one, obviously. The big one, if you want to call it that, is the big one that we were rumored with is Callum Hudson-Odoi, that we're going to loan him. We'll see. I mean, at this point in the transfer window, we will see. I just want players. I just want players. Just give me someone. I take anyone that has played. Give me Rhoda. I'll take Rhoda or Rudy. I'll take them. I don't mind, honestly. Winning the Champions League doesn't actually get you that much more money than when you reach the semi-final. They've budgeted already. The budget for transfers perhaps used to cover for COVID. I mean, look. Kind of the thing that I was saying, right? Obviously, we don't want to go into debt. I'm not going to go into whole good debt, bad debt situation. I won't go into that, all right? Like that's to me, that's not the point here. But we have money. Like usually a year, I don't know the exact figures, but usually a year we make, I think, like 250, 300 million in terms of spendable money. We should still have about 100 million of those. And that's all I'm going to say. We should still have about 100 million. The fact that we went for this for 20 plus 5 million shows that we have at least 25. I know it's not much, but it shows that we have at least 25 million. You know, so that's all I'm saying. But yeah, it's just one of those situations. Alexander, how are you, man? I hope you're doing good. I am sort of. I was just watching some TV. You know, I was watching PSG versus Reims. I was watching the Barcelona game, and I was like, all right, cool. I go on Twitter. I'm saying, I see croissants being sold. I'm like, I never won. I never won. I never won. The Javi situation could change. Apparently, yeah, I did read that. That like now we're forcing Javi to stay. Which I'm thinking like, if we're not gonna play Javi, which we haven't at all. If we're gonna play a Javi, right, who we're not playing, if we're gonna force him to stay at the club, I feel that's a bad move. Like you know, he is an option, yes, but like we're not playing him. Flick obviously doesn't trust him, or he's not, you know, doesn't fit into Flick's style of play. Now we're keeping him hostage essentially because we can't afford to let him leave. It's one of those situations where I'm like, this should be much better. Like we should be operating significantly better here. And it's just, it worries me. It genuinely worries me that like it genuinely worries me that like, you know, the management, Oliver Kahn, for example, he definitely wants to integrate younger players, and I'm like, that's okay. I'm all for younger players as well. If you look at some of my videos a long time ago, I said let's focus on young players, but like not in a season like this. In a normal season, I would have been like, okay, fair enough. In a season like this, I'm like, we're playing every 3 days. Everything has been squished together. The season started 2 weeks ago, and we're having to play 50 games in a span of what, 6 months? That's crazy. Like we're playing the winter break. You know, the one silver lining you could say is that the winter transfer window is opening soon. But like, who's going to really sell their players in winter? You know. Why are we letting it get to winter in the first place? Why are we not getting players now? Worrisome. It is worrisome. It is worrisome. Davis was very young too. It's a gamble, of course. He could be a wild. Davis played for a year for Bayern too, though. Now, you can't forget that. Like he wasn't really pushed into the squad. He got minutes to integrate into the culture, into our system. You know, got to train with the team, and that's when he was pushed in. It wasn't like we bought him and then right away, like, yeah, you know what, play. It wasn't that wasn't the case. We gave him time. We don't have that time right now. That's the thing that I'm pushing out there. Like we don't have the time to give players right now because we have such a thin squad that like we have to throw them into the lions den and just hope they come out of there. ist halt normal, dass wenn man verliert, wenn man sich mal den Spielplan angeguckt hat, sich einfach müde. Yeah, I mean, again, we look tired. I mean, that much, that much is. I'm not saying that we didn't. Like, I'm okay with the loss today. Like that's what it is. It is what it is. We look tired. We've played so much games, but like we really should be. Considering we press so high and considering we press so aggressively, we really, really should be having a good squad. So you saw in the Champions League final as well. A lot of commentators were confused. Like, why did we sub out Coman and Gnabry? For just Coman for Perisic, I think it was, and Gnabry for Coutinho. Why do we switch out our attacking players? Because we press from the front. We don't have that option right now. We can't sub out players. That's the issue. We can't sub out players. All right, like you can't. With 5 substitutions as well. The whole league is putting in 5 substitutions. So I was like, yeah, perfect. You know what? We know it's going to be difficult, and we know that players are going to be playing every 3 minutes. We're going to give you 5 substitutions so you can get as much rest as possible. We don't have the players for that. we don't have to play. Like, basically, with the 5 substitutions, it's going to be the same 5 players being subbed in, subbed out every single week. And it's like, come on. We can all see that, right? We can all see that coming. They should be seeing that coming too. And that is my issue. Like, we can see it. They should be able to see it. And yes, we've got we've got 8 days left. Let's hope something happens in 8 days. I think the squad is big enough. Many young players, just bring them in. I think there will be no players, but I'll say this right now. I think I would be shocked. I would be honestly shocked if we don't bring in another player, at least one player. I'll be honest. I would be shocked. I'm not saying buy a player, but straight up just get a player. I would be shocked if we don't buy. Honestly, by the end of this, actually, no, it is Sunday. Honestly, by Thursday, I would be shocked if we don't have at least one player by Thursday. I would genuinely be shocked. Don't do this. Don't do this, my friend. Don't do this, my friend. Don't do this, my friend. We've been through that one before. Keep croissants, let Javi go. Take Götze option. I think Draxler might be an option as well. The way it's going, we might as well just like get Draxler Kera. Like straight up. It's like, bro, at this point, Götze free signing. Hey, we're gonna get him. Woohoo! Yay! And then we'll see. And maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. Yay! Woohoo! And after that, I don't know. After that, who knows? They want to push for young players to play for the first team, but forcing the coach to do this is not the way to go. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. Ideally, we could get Max Aarons for our right back and Callum Hudson-Odoi as a winger. Not sure who's available as a midfielder for us to snatch. I mean, we are linked with Max Aarons, but the thing is, Max Aarons will cost even more than Dest, from what I read. And we weren't prepared to pay Dest, and clearly Dest was our first choice option. So I don't know whether we're gonna go for Max Aarons because we were bargaining. We were trying to like negotiate and try and find a deal with Ajax for 20. We weren't prepared to play that 20 million plus 5 in bonuses. We wanted to go with like 15 plus 5. And are we really gonna spend 30-40 million for Max Aarons? I don't see it. I don't see it. All right, I just don't see it. Maybe last minute loans could do the thing. Yeah, I mean, most certainly. I mean, Callum Hudson-Odoi, obviously the big name that we're interested in terms of buying as well as loaning. We'll see whichever one, if there is an option. But like beyond that, that's it. Like that's it. That's the only real name that we've been linked with so far. It blows my mind how one of the best managers this club has ever had complaints about a thin squad and best running club in the world for friggin' sells players. Yeah. That's the fact that Flick himself has complained. The fact that Flick himself has complained and the fact that he said that he's been speaking to the Bayern board and players are going to get in, players are going to come in, and nothing has been done so far. And now we're looking at selling more players. Look, real talk now. I need to take my hat off for this one, all right? Real talk now. We're talking seriously right now, all right? Flick has just won the treble. And we let 3-4 players go. We let 4 players go. Thiago, Coutinho, Perisic, and Odriozola. And you're expecting him in a season where everything is cramped, where the schedule is tight, where we played a game 72 hours ago, and then we played the next game. We're playing our next game, the German Super Cup, on Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those, I think Wednesday. So we have 3 days essentially of rest. Oh, 2 days of rest, and then 1 day of training, and then 1 day of gaming, of playing. You put all that together, we're playing week, and then we play on Saturday again. We're playing 2 games a week. That's what we're doing. We're playing 2 games a week. And we have a thinner squad than we did last season when everything was A-OK. That should not be the case. That is almost criminal. That is almost criminal. That is happening right now. That's almost criminal. I tell you. That's almost criminal, I tell you. Just worrisome. It's just worrisome. If Bayern knew they were going to sell Thiago, why didn't they push harder? Havertz is a completely different player. Right now he doesn't have a spot on the team, so he's a completely different player. He wouldn't be a Thiago replacement. So that's a different story. Buy Leon Bailey, 4th winger plus fullback. I mean, look, Leon Bailey is not going to come. He costs too much. There was a time 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I can't even remember. Yeah, the years and seasons have been so mixed up that I can't remember. But there was a time a few years ago where I would have been like, you know what? Very likely. Nowadays, it's like, nah, not likely at all. It's not happening, all right? Now, those days are long gone. Those days are long gone. I thought Bayern was the most financial healthy club, a big club in Europe. I don't know about that one. We're definitely up there. If we are the most financial, I mean, I would say probably. That would be my guess. That it's either us or Real Madrid. It's definitely not Barcelona. Barcelona, they don't have any money. Like in terms of net spent, in terms of net money, they don't have anything. And then the Premier League clubs, they basically run on debt. Majority of them, not all of them, but they basically run on debt. So I would say probably Juventus. I mean, they've got all the sponsorship and whatnot. So I don't know. It could be us or Juventus or Real Madrid. I'm not 100% sure about that one. But we're definitely up there. We're definitely up there. I really think we're overreacting. This loss was just a normal thing after all those wins we have achieved. It was really time to just take a break. I'm optimistic for Wednesday's game. MiaSanMiaTV. I mean, look, the loss itself, I don't really. Obviously, I do care. I was gonna say I don't really care, but like I do care. It is a loss. It shouldn't happen, but like it does happen. All right, there's always gonna be one. Well, I can't say there's always gonna be one winner and one loser. Consider it, you can get a draw, but there's always gonna be winners and losers and draws. All right. So it's not a case where it's like, us losing impossible. Like shouldn't happen. It happened, but the reason why it happened is what annoys me so much. Because we look tired. It's not like we really went for it. It's not like we looked like we usually do. We look tired. Our players look tired. There was a minute. There was like the 80th minute where like you see Kimmich run and he's just gassed. He's like he's breathing heavily. Right? He's been playing week in week out, minimal rest, no preseason, anything of that. Like just struggling. And that's the issue. It's not so much that we're losing or that we lost today. It's the fact how we lost. It's always the manner of losing rather than just a loss. Because we could have 50 shots on target and then they have one shot and they score. It happens. We played good. But like today, it wasn't a case where we even played. I can't say we played good today. We were just tired. And that is the issue. Now that we're selling more players, we're going to get even more tired. It's going to continue and continue and continue. We're going to get tired and tired and tired and tired and tired. And it's just like, why? Why are we in this situation? Why are we in this predicament where it's like we can all see the issue. We can all see. I've said this plenty of times already, or today, just alone, in this video alone, that like we have issues and we're not addressing them, and that's the issue. We have issues that we're not addressing, and that really is the issue. Yeah, make that. Make that what you want. What's going on with Jan Fiat Arp? Basically, ZXC is preferred to Arp. Arp is essentially playing for the second team. Hasn't actually looked that great yet so far, honestly, from what I've seen from the second team. But like it is, ZX is preferred, so he is behind him. He's gonna. I think what I've read is that he's gonna spend this season with like the second team, and he's gonna play for them for the majority of this season, and then like he's gonna really make a push for the first team next season. That's what I read at least. We made some crucial mistakes last time we were triple winners. How come we didn't learn anything? I don't agree with that. Last time we had a very good window. Like I don't remember who exactly we bought, but like if I think back. Obviously, we lost a few players. We lost. Who did we lose? Did we lose? I think we lost Gustavo that year. I think we lost. Did we lose Shaqiri that year? No, Shaqiri was still there because he was still there for the Super Cup. I don't know who we lost, but like we brought in Götze, basically the most promising youngster out there. We brought in Thiago. Who else did we bring in? I can't remember who exactly who else we brought in, but like we had good signings. It's not like we had no signings. We had good signings back then. We actually strengthened our squad, I would say. It was just a case of the following season we had injuries in key moments and so on and so forth. But like this time, we're not actually really strengthening our squad. We've lost additions to the team. I thought Perisic for sure. I thought we were gonna, we're gonna have him for the rest of this season. We're gonna buy him. That didn't happen. And now we have nobody. That didn't happen. And now we have nobody. Like, even if we get our player in, who knows if they can, like, get into the squad? Who knows if they can integrate into the team? Perisic, he was a guaranteed option. He had already experience with the team. He was already used to the team. He was already performing. He already knew how we played. He was expensive, but not that expensive. We should have gotten him. And that was the first mistake that we made. That we didn't keep Perisic. And now we're in a situation where we're scrambling. We're looking for these, emergency options, and it's just like it's not happening. Nothing's happening. Absolutely nothing is happening. It's frustrating. I tell you what, it's really frustrating. I was having a bad morning, then I had a good evening, and now I'm having a terrible night. And that's basically how my day has went. That's basically how my day has went. All right. I knew Coutinho cost, but wish we would have kept him in Paris and then add a right back, and we would have been much more assured. Coutinho was very expensive. The loan deal itself, I think, cost us almost 25 million. Just a loan deal, that 1 year loan deal. Like he was our most expensive player, basically. Like he was actually no, I think he was earning 25 million. That's what I think it was. Like he was earning more than Lewandowski, but the players accepted it simply because of the fact that they wanted addition. That tells you everything about the squad, right? That tells you everything about the squad, that they would be like, you know what, Coutinho, he's making more money than all of us. When he's only going to be here for a year, well, we have put in such, we have a legacy at the club, but we want to have these additions, and these additions cost money. The fact that, Lewandowski himself, he was complaining all last season, I think it was, all last summer, saying that, like, we need some additions, we need to get better, we need some more players. He's not a robot, so on and so forth. He can't play every single game. And then we got Coutinho, and everyone was okay with that, even though the fact that he got more money than everyone else. We were okay with that because we needed these signings. We needed to get a better squad. And look what happened then. We won the treble. But Coutinho would have just been way too expensive. Like for a permanent signing, he would have been way too expensive. The fact that the board needs to react and there's 8 days left in the window is bad planning. Yes. Yes, it very much is. Playing the high line with tight legs is a bad idea at Bayernfantv. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I mean, we defend. We defend from the front. We defend by pressing up high. And that is the issue. That, like, if we don't have any options up high, if we play the same players 90 minutes every single week, then they're not going to be able to rest, and we can't press from up high, and then the other team is going to have time up front. We're going to score less goals because we were going to cause them to have less errors. They're going to be able to get more into our box. They're going to have more opportunities. If we're going to have less opportunities, we're going to score less goals. The other team is going to score more goals, and ultimately it just goes downhill. And that's exactly what's going to happen if we don't get some more options up top. We need Hassan Aouar. Is that how you even say his name? Aouar. I've heard people. I've been watching Arsenal Fan TV quite a lot, and like they've been saying Aouar, whatever. All right, whatever. That's what. Whatever. That's what I'm gonna call him. But doesn't he cost 50 million? We're not going to spend in 50 million. Is it 50 million or 35 million? Yeah, it's one of those. We're not gonna pay for either of them. We're not gonna pay 35 million and we're not gonna pay 50 million. It's just one of those things, all right? It's not happening. It's just too expensive. What is your opinion on the rumor surrounding Croissant's transfer talks to Leeds United for 20 million? The fee itself is very good. For 20 million. I like that fee. We're getting some money. What's the point if we're getting some money and we're not spending it? like right now, I'd much rather have a bigger squad than money, right? It's not my money in the first place. It's not their money either. It's the club's money, right? That's ultimately what it is. They're leading the club. It's the club's money. It's the club's duty, basically. My issue is that, like, we are not strengthening the squad. Like, if we had zero money, I'd be A-okay with it if we strengthened the squad. Like, if we spend all our remaining budget on this season to actually strengthen the squad in this crucial season, I would have been A-okay. I would be A-okay with it. But we're not. But we're not. Right now, the 20 million would be great if we actually spend it. But if we're just selling him, then no. That's my fault on the whole situation. Bro, I'm a big fan of Bayern Munich. I'm from Jamaica. Well, hi. Welcome. Welcome to you. Clubs are unwilling to loan their players, so I don't see us signing. The thing is, clubs are not unwilling to loan their players. It's more so a case where we have to find the right players to loan. a bit different. We have to find the right players to loan, and we have to find the right players to loan at this stage of the transfer window. Like, if this was in August, September. No, we are in September. We are in September. If this was in August, clubs would have been like more willing. They would be like, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah, sounds great. We loan you the player, and we're going to find ourselves another option. Great. But nowadays, it's like, who are they going to get? If we loan a player, who's the other team going to get? So that's why they're not going to loan them out to. That's why they're not going to loan players out to us, because at this point of the transfer window, it's too late. It might be too late. It might be too late. Please don't joke about that. Please don't. I mean, I wouldn't mind Claudio Pizarro, but he's a striker, right? That's that. Xerxes is fine as a backup option. We've got Gnabry as well, who can play up top as well. We could even integrate Sane up top, as like a false nine sort of thing. Muller could also. We have options up top, all right? Not the best options, but we have options up top. That's fair. I'd much rather give Frank a call. Be like, yo, hey, everybody, we need your help, bro. We saw what you did recently. We need your help, bro. I'd much rather prefer that, to be completely honest. The issue with this is that Florian Thauvin is much more expensive. Much more expensive. That's kind of what you have to take into consideration right now, the cost. This is basically what I'm hoping. Right here, Hans Wurst. Aarons, do I think it's going to happen? Not very likely. Hudson-Odoi, we've been rumored to get a loan, hopefully. And then someone in midfield, hopefully. Hopefully. I can really see us. I'll say this right now. Here is my thoughts, who I think we're going to get, right? Götze. And that's it. Götze, and that's it. That's what I think personally is going to happen. Honestly, Götze, and that is it. Bayern sells 4 players and not buying anyone. This is crazy. I'm a Bayern fan, but the season is going to be crazy. These players are going to burn out. Very, very true. Another thing to do with what to do with Ulreich. Great question. I mean, you look at Nibel today. Nibel wasn't even in the squad, and instead Ulreich was in the squad. Now, obviously, the big thing here is we've got 3 keepers. Great. Honestly, none of them are probably going to get any minutes unless Neuer gets injured. So, like, that's the one position where I can say, yeah, we have squad depth in the keeper position. That's the one position where you can. That's the one position where you can, like, you know what? Great job. Great job. We have squad depth. I have seen Thauvin. I have seen him actually quite a bit. I've been watching a lot of other leagues lately. I've been watching, not so much watching, but like recording and then rewatching and then rewatching and then rewatching. So I've been like rewatching a ton of like games that have happened. over the past couple of weeks, the French league especially, with the French league being the first to come back, then the Premier League obviously, and then now the Bundesliga. So I've been watching like football 24 hours a day basically at this point. Like I wake up, watch football, eat, watch football, sleep, watch football. That's basically my plan at the moment. That's basically my day-to-day activity at the moment. Would have really loved an Invincible season. I mean, you and me both, but I don't really care about an Invincible season. You could say we had an Invincible Champions League campaign last season. That's not the issue here. It doesn't matter to me, honestly, whether we go Invincible or not. What matters to me is that we perform well, that we have the squad to perform well, that we have the squad to win trophies. And that's really what it boils down to. If we go Invincible or not, whatever. Whatever. That's whatever to me, honestly. That's an arbitrary title. Like, these records don't matter to me. These records have never mattered to me. Like the unbeaten streak doesn't matter to me at all. It's not a trophy. We're not getting a trophy for that. It's it's whatever. We've beaten countless records. We beat a new record every single year. It's like, at this point, I don't even care what records we have. Like, we're beating them. But what I care about is like these legacy things, like these trophies, or these legacy records. Not like, oh, we had 50 passes in the first 10 minutes. That's a new record. Wow. Like not these kind of records, but more so like Lewandowski trying to break the record last season, for example, the most goals in a Champions League campaigns. These are the kind of records where I'm like, great. Because, once you have these kind of records, generally you have a very good season. Lewandowski had a fantastic season last season, and it shows. That's kind of what I like. It's the same principle where I always say that I don't really, I prefer us playing good football than getting these like lucky 1-0 wins that we shouldn't be getting. Because I know that if we play good football, that will naturally lead us to wins. Because if we play good, generally we're going to win. Whereas if we get these lucky wins, once we come against a team where we're not lucky, we're going to get destroyed. So like that's kind of my take on this whole situation, on like a record situation, I guess. After the 2013 Champions League win, we bought Lewandowski. We bought Lewandowski in 2014. It was the following year. We actually wanted to buy Lewandowski in 2013, but Dortmund, obviously, they said no. So we were like, all right, cool, we'll wait a year. And the next year, I bought Lewandowski. So that was whatever. And you think about Lewandowski didn't hit the ground running. Like, it took him, what was the first game that he scored? Against Schalke, I think it was. If you don't count the preseason where he scored, I think it was against Borussia Mönchengladbach, where he scored his first goal was like a chip against the keeper or something. But like it took him like 3 or 4 games before he could actually score for Bayern. And it's just one of those situations where, again, if we kept Perisic, he's already used to the team. He doesn't have to integrate into the team. He won't take a while to get into the squad. That's kind of the situation we're in right now. It's like, get a player. Usually we could say get a player early, let them play the preseason, and then by the time the preseason over, they'll be great. We don't have a preseason. The season's already started. We still haven't got a player. Joy. Joy. Just absolute joy. Bye now, George. How you doing? What exactly do we save money for? It's for the sausages, man. The sausages and the bread. That's what we're saving the money for. We're building an empire. Now, but jokes aside, we actually made. I mean, that's not really big money at all. At least for the club. For me, if they give me that kind of money, I'd be dancing. All right, I'd be dancing. But like for example, they have like tons of obviously projects going on at the moment. One of them being they just recently, I think it was 250,000 or was it 200,000? So it's not much for the club in terms of the club's sake. It's not millions. But I think they made like a donation to SOS Kinderdörfer, which is basically like a charity that supports children that are not privileged, and it's just like kind of projects like that. Like we constantly every single week basically we hear about these projects. I'm like, fantastic, I'm all for these projects, but pump up the squad a little bit too, man. Pump up the squad, fam. Pump up the squad. That's all I want, bro. That's all I want. That's all I want. Oh, there's an argument going here about like Forvin or Odai. I won't even get into that argument because they're not even linked with Forvin, so I'm not even really going to entertain that at this point. Do you really think a midfield of Kimmich, Goretzka, Tolisso, and maybe Javi would bring us far in the Champions League? I mean, Kimmich and Goretzka, absolutely okay. Kimmich and Tolisso, okay. I mean, Tolisso hasn't really hit the ground running lately. But like Tolisso generally is like very good. I know people don't like him at the moment for some reason. I don't think so at all. I'm a fan of Tolisso, in the sense that like he's had very good spells under us. But he's obviously been very unlucky with his injuries. So I don't actually blame him too much for today's loss, I guess, or anything. You know, he wasn't good at all. He was actually very, very terrible. I'll be honest. But like, the way I see it, it's like a case of like, you know, Tolisso, once he like gets a run of games, like 4, 5, 6 games, you know, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna grow into everything. He's gonna be okay. So if Kimmich gets injured, that will be the big issue. If Kimmich and Javi doesn't even play, that's another issue. Like Javi doesn't even play. The cramped schedule is an advantage for smaller teams, as was apparent today. No, I don't agree with that at all. It's an advantage for teams with good depth. That's really what it boils down to. It's an advantage for teams with good depth, with good squad depths. You know, teams that can rotate. We have 5 subs. It all works in tandem. Hoffenheim is actually very good. Like if you actually watch the first match day, I think Kramaric scored 3 goals. Like Kramaric has been on incredible form. He scored 11 goals in the last 4 games. Like even before this season, like at the end of last season, I think he scored 4 goals against Dortmund. So he's been on fire. Like he scored 4 goals against Dortmund, 3 goals in the first Bundesliga game, and I think 2 goals today. You know, he's been scoring for fun. Hoffenheim is actually very, very decent. I can definitely see them like get 5th, 6th around that position. It's just that today we were just not on it. Like usually, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter if you're in a good form. It doesn't matter if you're a good team. We'll beat you. But like today, we were just not on it. We were just tired. Man, there's a lot of comments. Like there is a lot of comments. Right, I'm way behind. Let's read that one. Because I wasn't able to like skim through it. So I don't get it. While the players have been named to move from the club, they are staying, and most of the good players are going. But why have so much money and we don't spend? Hey, my friend. I'm assuming, I can't really tell, but I'm assuming that's Lucas Hernandez on your profile picture. He was rumored to go as well. Well, he's staying now. So that's good. He looked good. I know there's a debate going on. I was having that debate myself. But like he's looked solid. He's looked solid. You know, we have a few players actually right now that haven't looked that good. And we all know who those players are. I won't mention them too much because that's not the point of this stream. But there are a few players right now that are just not as good. And once they perform better, great. But we still need a bigger squad so we can give them some competition. We can give them some challenge. We can give them some time to get back and not force them to play week in, week out. How do you feel that Dest is not joining Bayern? I mean, for me, it's very, very simple. I said this before. I wasn't sold on Dest myself. From what I've seen, I wasn't sold on him. I've not seen too many Ajax games. Last season, I saw about, honestly, maybe 10 games. Like, not a tremendous amount. But like from then, obviously, YouTube highlights. Searching, typing in by, like, okay, Des, let's have a look how he plays. All right, cool. Okay, cool. It wasn't for me. Like, to me, it just seemed like more of a winger that played as a fullback. You all know me by now. I like my defenders to be able to defend, which is why, I personally, I want Davis to significantly improve. I know people call him best left back in the world last season. I'm like, no, not for me. Offensively, great. But like his pace has basically bailed him out more times than his positioning and his defensive awareness. But he's still young, so I don't really mind that too much. But for me, I always prefer a defending fullback than an attacking one, because at the end of the day, at least that's how I was drilled when I played football. Granted, it was a long time ago. I'm quite old, not that old. But like when I was playing football, I was always told if you're a fullback, you defend. You first defend, and then you can always offer an option in attack. And nowadays, obviously, it has changed where it's like more attack and then you defend. To me, I don't like that. But hey, Philip Lahm, my favorite player. Most of you all already know that. And it's not because he was so good attacking wise, it's because he was so good defending wise. That's my take. I didn't really care either way. I was like, okay, if the club is after him, I'm A-okay with it, because the club has proven to be very good with these kind of transfers, where the players that I'm not all too familiar with or haven't seen too much. So for me, it was just a case of like, okay, if Brazil, Salihamidzic, if the rest of the scouts are going for him, I'm A-okay. I'll get 100% behind the players, but like wouldn't didn't do it for me personally. But hey, so him not joining Bayern to me is like, okay. Like straight up, okay. Johnny Bravo. Hello from London. Is that train track? I think so. Well, hello back to London. We should sign Suarez. All right, bro. All right, bro. All right. Camavinga is the man for the job in midfield. Camavinga is too expensive, bro. Camavinga, it's basically an open secret at this point that Camavinga is going to Real Madrid next season. That it's an open secret. Everyone knows that. They're basically saving money to buy him next season. How old is he? 17, 18, and he's already, such a talented player. It's at this point, it's basically an open secret that he's going to Real Madrid next season, and we wouldn't compete for those kind of wages, not just wages, but also kind of transfer fee. We just wouldn't compete. We'll definitely try, but I could definitely imagine the fee to be like 80, 90 million, maybe 100 million, and I just can't see us doing that. Especially, I hate to say this, but especially after Renato Sanchez kind of failed at Bayern, and obviously Renato Sanchez wasn't quite as expensive as Camavinga will be, but like especially if you take that into consideration, I don't think we're going to spend that kind of money on a young midfielder. The only player that Uli Hoeneß has ever said that he will break whatever limits there are, back when he was obviously still the president, was Mbappe. That's the one player where he said, for Mbappe, there are no limits. That's the only player. For Mbappe, there are no limits. Well, Camavinga is not Mbappe. He's not an attacking player. But yeah. Basically this. The players dispense a few percent of the salaries to reflect the normal Bayern employee last season. We won't have money. We won't have money, guys. Now, the thing is, I don't know how true that is. Was it a percentage? It wasn't too much. It was a percentage, obviously, but I think it was like 5%. So it wasn't like a big, massive salary. But like the club has recuperated that in like in the Champions League campaign, as well as some of the outgoings, and some of the wage bills that have gotten cheaper. Like I said, Coutinho, massive expensive player, cost us 25 million a year. Now not on our wage bill anymore. Perisic, not on our wage bill anymore. These kind of things. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up like shortly. Like there's a bunch of comments here. There are a bunch of comments here, and I'm trying to like read speed through them. Some of like the longer ones, because like the short ones I can kind of read. The longer ones I can't really. Winning multiple trophies will be near impossible. I'd rather do a Real Madrid or 70s Bayern and do a triple. The Champions League three-peat. I know Bundesliga is the most honest title, but I don't care. Oh my goodness, Thomas. My jolly goodness. I mean, look, we all want the Champions League. That's really what it is. We all want the Champions League is the creme of the crop. All right, it's the absolute tip of the top. It's the tip of the iceberg. All right, but let's be realistic here. It's easier to win the Bundesliga than Champions League. Yeah, cool. We can all agree with that, but this is the best time for this. This is the best time for us to win the Champions League. That's what it is. It's like there is no other real competitive team out there, besides like two that I can think of. But I'm like, all right, if those two three at most. PSG, City, Liverpool. Those are the three teams I'm thinking of. I'm like, yeah, if we play those three teams, it could be difficult. Besides that, though, there's like any other team, I'm like, whatever. Like straight up, I'm like, whatever at this point. Real Madrid, they didn't look good last season. They haven't looked good this season. If you actually watched their game yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday, they didn't look that good either. They're kind of just getting bailed out at the moment. Like their attacking phase is very, very poor. They're getting bailed out by their defense, essentially. Barcelona, obviously, they're in the transitional period. Obviously, they weren't quite big today, but like they didn't look that great either. Like I'll be honest, they didn't look that great either. I was watching them. I was quite enjoying watching Messi and watching Fati score 2 goals. Messi obviously scored the penalty. The boy, off topic, I know, but the way Messi took that penalty was just whatever. Like he just took it like, bro, I don't even care anymore. Like that's basically what it was. But yeah. They don't look that good either. So, like, the only 3 competitions I can see for the Champions League are honestly PSG, Liverpool, and City. So this could be like the best chance to really do a 70s where we win 3 Champions League, 92, 93, 94 in a row. 93, 94, 95, I think it was. Leeds, that would be fun if we meet them in the Champions League next season. That would be fun. But yeah, it's just one of those situations where I'm like, this is the best time to win a Champions League multiple times in a row, and we're not capitalizing on it. Draxler to Bayern would be great. I'm not a Draxler fan. I'll say this. I do think there is a good chance, like we might put in a bid for Draxler at the end of the season. At the end of the transfer window if we haven't gotten any player. But I'm not a Draxler fan. But if it happens, whatever, it does happen. I'd much rather have Draxler than nobody, honestly. Despite the fact that I don't rate him very highly. I think he's honestly quite poor. I'd much rather have him than nobody. That's how desperate I am right now. The boys are clowns. They're just sitting there watching the money going by Santiago. Then the boys are like, let's sell Tolisso, croissants, and Boateng. Nice little 5 million budget. And we're not selling Tolisso. We're selling. Looks like we're selling croissants, and Boateng is not going anywhere. So, yeah, I don't really know. Or I should be focused. Too expensive, my friend. Unfortunately, too expensive at this point. Shuckleberries. All right, let's have a look at some more comments, and then we'll wrap it up slowly but surely. Bayernfantv, do you worry about the German Super Cup final in 3 days? Nah. Nah. It's Dortmund. All right. Even with tired legs, even with no legs, we'll beat Dortmund. The only thing is we always lose the Super Cup. For some reason, we always lose the Super Cup to Dortmund. Like, while we beat them anywhere else, we always lose the Super Cup. Am I worried? Honestly, it's a glorified friendly. Real talk. It's a glorified friendly trophy. But I want to win the trophy. I don't want Dortmund to have that kind of trophy, right? They should be going trophyless this season. That's my aim. I don't really have an issue against Dortmund. I just can't stand a lot of their fan base. Last season, it was like I had to hear it constantly. Super Cup. It's like, stop it. All right, stop it. It's like every year you hear, oh yeah, Dortmund this season, they could challenge Bayern. Oh yeah, they could challenge Bayern. They lost against Augsburg, all right? Yeah, we lost as well today, granted. But like the second there's any pressure on them, they crumble. People should not take them serious anymore. That's my point, all right? I used to be called like the Dortmund fanboy, honestly, because a lot of people used to say, oh, man, you're being way too nice. You know, because I used to say, back when Tuchel was still there, and Klopp was still there, I used to say, oh, yeah, Dortmund this season, they'll push us right to the end of the Bundesliga. I was like, oh, this Dortmund team is strong. And people were like, man, what's wrong with you? And now I'm like the opposite. Now I'm like, this Dortmund team is useless. Like, Leipzig to me is our real competition in the Bundesliga. Like, Leipzig to me is going to be number 2, which is why when I did my my Bundesliga table prediction, Leipzig was number 2, Dortmund was number 3. And I wasn't even sure about putting them at number 3. Like, even that, I think, it might be difficult. They are a team that has a lot of good players, but the issue is they have a lot of young players that are being thrown in there. So they don't have the experience, they don't have the know-how to grind out results. Like if they're only winning 1-0, they don't know how to like slow things down, control the tempo, and then just kind of see the game out. They'll just go attack, and then maybe concede a counter. And that's the issue. They're going for young players, which is fine. It's a way to do, so it's their way to go about it. But they're not a serious competition. That in terms of the Super Cup, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen, but I do expect. I don't know what I expect. like Goretzka, for example, I do expect him to start. I think that's why he was rested. Lewandowski was obviously rested with that in mind, I think, as well. Is Coman going to play instead of Sane? I don't know. Like, these are the kind of things that I'm like, I don't know. And I can't really. Sula was rested for obvious reasons as well. I think Lucas Hernandez as well will play. So I think we have like a few players that will be rested, like in terms of attacking options, and in terms of like the midfield, Kimmich will play. We all know. Like, let's not kid ourselves. We all know Kimmich will play because we don't have an alternative to Kimmich. Lewandowski will play. Zirkzee is the alternative, but Zirkzee is still very young. He's still getting into the team. So, am I worried? Not really. Do you think we can lose it? Yes. Do you think we will lose it? No. So. That's my take. That's my take. Bayern confirmed the signing of Frank Ribery and Ian Robben. Welcome back, legends. #PackMass. You can see it now. Not Robben. Robben got injured. I on his not debut game. Like, he had a few friendlies as well, but like he got injured on his first Eredivisie game for Groningen. So I don't actually know how long he's out, but he got injured. I was watching that game, and then I went downstairs for like 5 minutes to get myself some food. When I came back up, I was like, "Where's Robin? Like, why can't I see Robin anymore? Like, am I missing him? Like where is there no bald? where is Robin?" And then I looked on Twitter. I was like, he got injured, of course. So yeah, just one of those situations. If Kimmich gets injured, we're completely that's basically it. If Kimmich gets injured, we are screwed. Like, I don't need to read the rest of your comment. The first part, it's true. It's very, very true. If Kimmich gets injured, we are screwed. Do you still? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Straight up, yes, I do. The other teams will struggle as well, of course, but like some of them have better squads, some of them don't. But like, we still win it simply just because of the goal for quality. Like Dortmund, they will lose against relegation candidates. We'll beat those. Leipzig, they'll draw their way all the way to second or third. We'll win those games. So do I still see us winning the league? Yes, I do. It's real. Yes, I do. It's that simple. Sign me. I'm good. I'm not joking. Yes, they should sign me. I'm good as well. Look, I played football for about 10 years. Professional. I'll say professional for a team. All right. So sign me. Camavinga will cost no way. Camavinga will cost more than 40. He will cost double that, if not triple that. Mate, double that, if not triple that. I can tell you that right now. Double that or triple that. Like, that's what Real Madrid is saying. That's why Real Madrid hasn't really signed a player this season, because they're saving all the money for next season for Camavinga, for Mbappe, and then we'll see who else they get. But like, they're saving their money right now. It's like, go big, and that is the thing. Like, that's why they're saving their money. Camavinga will cost double or triple that, my friend. I hate how right I think you are. I hate how right I think you are. The board won't get a backup winger because they believe Miller is sufficient. You know what? I think we might. All right, I'm going to say this. You know what? I will say that, right? Maybe we'll pull a 2013. A 2012, 2013, the treble season, right? Because the thing is, right, everyone has it wrong in the memory. And I know why people have it wrong. People will have this season wrong in the memory in 3-4 years too. But everyone has it wrong in the memory. In 2012, 2013, Toni Kroos played more than Arjen Robben. On the wing. On the wing, all right? Obviously, the reason why people remember Arjen Robben on the wing so good, is because obviously how, he won us the important games. But like, in general, I think Toni Kroos played more games on the wing than Arjen Robben. Will we pull that again? And Toni Kroos then obviously played in Muller's position as well. But like, you look at that and like, interesting. Why if we just stick a midfielder on the wing? Why if we just stick a midfielder on the wing and just hope for the best? Nah, that's kind of ridiculous. Draxler plays like he doesn't want to get as close. He does like these half dribbles and then just pass the ball backwards. I don't rate him that much. Like, he's one of those players the same as Werner, where I rated them highly when they were very, very young. But since then, they haven't really gotten any better. And at this point, I'm just like, I rated you that highly when you were young because I thought you would, develop quite nicely. You haven't done that. So at this point, I'm like, do I like Draxler? No. Do I think he's a great player? No. Would I take him at Bayern at this point? Yes. And not just him. Like, I would take anyone. You get Rode and I'll take Rode. All right. You got Rudy. I'll get Rudy. Like you get Visor, and I take Visor. Call Rafinha. Bring him back. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm like, yeah. What do you think of Riqui Puig from Barca? He's obviously staying, so I mean, he's not going to Bayern. But there were rumors that we were interested in him. I think, credible people said that we were interested in him. We were trying to get him. But like, he's staying at Barca. From what I've seen, he's a good player. I don't think he has the same potential as, say, like Thiago when Thiago was at Barcelona and we were in for him. No, I don't think that at all. I don't like the fact that like he decided to stay at Barcelona, not because he was linked to Bayern. I just don't like the fact that he's in his comfort zone and he doesn't want to leave his comfort zone. That's my issue. That's really my issue. Like, he was in his comfort zone and he doesn't want to leave that. To me, that just shows a player that isn't gonna reach the great heights. But that's just the way I see it, I guess. Liverpool Football Club. My goodness. Even Liverpool Football Club is here. Thiago injured for Liverpool already. Is he injured? From what I read, like him and Alisson just missed training or whatnot, but I didn't hear that he was injured. If he is, my goodness, that already bad news for you. They need to change formation to a 4-3-3 so Gnabry can play more forward. You know what I kind of want to do? I want to do this isn't really related with your comment, but it also is related with your comment. I kind of want to do a tactic school on this channel. I think that might be a fun idea. A tactic school, like tactic and formation school. I think that would be very fun if I were to do that on this channel. Basically, like the strengths and weaknesses of. I know it doesn't have much to do with your comment, but like the strengths and weaknesses of every formation. How they look offensively, how they look defensively. Because obviously, a team that plays, say, 4-3-3 doesn't defend most of the time in a 4-3-3. Or the same way, like a team that usually attacks enough. For example, a 4-2-3-1 doesn't defend in a 4-2-3-1. So I feel like I almost want to do like a tactic school kind of thing. Let me know if you lot will be interested in that. Like, that would be a very fun project to do. Speaking of tactics, if you want to check out football, if you want to get Football Manager 2021 early, not early. If you want to get it with a discount, you can do so. The link is in the description down below. You don't have to, obviously, but yeah, there is a code of mine. But yeah, Götze, Draxler. I do think those two players are going to be the two players that we're honestly going to go for. Worrisome, but at this point, it is what it is. I don't care. I just want players. It sounds kind of stupid, but I just want players at this point. I want to win the DPL Super Cup. A trophy is a trophy. I want to win the sextuple. So do I, my friend. So do I. I want to win every single trophy that we're competing for, but it's the least important trophy. It is the least important trophy, but it is still a trophy that I want to win at the end of the day. Shoot, I think I'll read the final few comments and then I'm going to leave it there. Who's going to replace Lewandowski when the day comes? Monderets for the Super Cup. I'm not sure. Not sure quite what you mean. I think a certain Haaland might be an option. I think a certain Haaland might be. I think he's got a release clause for the end of this season. I think a certain Haaland might be an option. Who knows, though? Who knows? Zirkzee obviously is also an option. Is Zirkzee going to reach those heights? Again, who knows? Who knows? It's too early to tell. Lewandowski, I think, is going to have another 2-3 seasons in him, honestly. 4 seasons even. So, I don't know. You consider Dortmund as a bigger rival than Stuttgart and Gladbach? Yes. Recent, at least. At least recent. I mean, if you want to throw in another name, you could really... Yeah. Dortmund. Yeah. I definitely do consider Dortmund a bigger rival. I was going to say, if you want to name another team, you could really mention Leverkusen as well for like the early 2000s or Wolfsburg. But yeah, Dortmund really, yeah, probably. I do think long term though, like it's gonna be Leipzig. I think right now they're doing a very scout manager thing where like they're getting young players, and they're trying to like get the youngest players and then sell them on. But I think like if like one day they say, you know what, let's get some established players, so on and so forth, then I do feel that like Leipzig could generally like push on to one of the top teams, not just in Germany, but like in Europe itself. They're already doing really well, and that has a lot to do with like the scouting department. But still, not just Leipzig, obviously the whole Red Bull project, all 3 of their clubs. I forgot what their academy is called, but like Salzburg, Leipzig, and as well as Salzburg's academy. I forgot what it's called right now. But like if all three of them are doing amazing in terms of talent. Like if you're actually like wanting to find young players, always look at Leipzig, always look at Salzburg, and always look at Salzburg's feeder club. I forgot what the name of the club is. But like they're just amazing when it comes to scouting young talents. I think they might have the best scouts in world football, honestly. And that's right now what they're going for. But I feel like if they really made a push, they could honestly push for a push to become like a top tier club. As much as I dislike saying that. Are we panicking and overreacting given the fact that we lost our first game since December after winning every competition there is to win? No. This has been an issue that many of us have been complaining even before today's game. I mean, many of us have been complaining about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, even months and months and months. And that's that our squad is too thin. Today's loss, yeah, it's a loss. All right, cool. It sucks. It happens. 4-1, the result sucks, but it happens. The issue was that we looked tired. The issue is we don't have the time to rest players, and the issue is that we need players because we sold so many players. We're a team that always has injuries. We all know that. Like, come April, we have injuries. Come February, we have injuries. Come March, we have injuries. Right now, we don't even have the injuries, and we're still looking tired. Now, imagine once the injuries happen, we're going to look even more so tired, and that's the issue. Then take into consideration the national team games, the international, what they call the cup thing that they're having right now, the friendly tournament thing that they're having. It's like, nobody, who cares? Who cares about that? And then you've got the Euros coming up as well. It's like, bro, these players are never going to get a rest. And you know damn well, like, you're asking me if he's going to, the next international, he's going to give Kimmich a call. He's like, Kimmich, I know you haven't had a single minute of rest. I know you would love to be at home right now, just resting a few days. Nah, I want you to play for Germany. You know he's going to do that, all right? But that's the issue, and that's for most of our team. So to me, it's just a case of like, these players, they're going to be playing nonstop, and they're going to pick up these muscular injuries, and it's going to be tragic. It is going to be tragic. Bayern lost 4-1 today. What do you put that down to? Not having a full preseason, one poor performance, or did Hoffenheim just play that well? Hoffenheim played really, really well. They're a very strong team. But if you actually watch how we played today, we played very, very lethargic. We were very, very lethargic. We were very, very slow. Our strength was just pressing up from up high. Not allowing the opponent to have much place to counter. We didn't do that today. The players, they didn't do that today. I'm not putting that down to the players, saying that they were lazy or whatnot, but rather they were tired. Once like the 40th, 30th minute, honestly, once like the second half kicked off, you just looked absolutely tired. And that's just what we kind of have to get players for. I'm not sure whether to give Adrian Fine a chance, as he looked like a decent player. He had a very good first half of the season for Hamburg last season, but a rather poor second half of the season. So I don't actually know whether he's going to get minutes or not. I don't actually count on it at all. He didn't look good for Bayern too as well. To me, he's just one of those players right now where I'm like, yeah, not looking that great, honestly. Man equals come on, an Irish. All right, no, an Irish. All right, fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. And last but not least, Hernandez should play instead of Alaba. I do think Alaba has been looking very, very poor lately. Hernandez, obviously not that great attacking-wise, offensively, but very, very solid defensively. Against Dortmund, I'd much rather have a defensively solid player, but we'll see how we go. You see, I was going into the season feeling rather conflicted, because I thought that, like, okay, we're going to play Lucas Hernandez more as a left back, and we're going to push Davies up on the wing. He came in as a winger. Obviously, he was playing as a left back last season because of the injuries. I thought, like, okay, we'll push him up a little bit and play him as a winger. He'll be our fourth winger, essentially, right? Alongside, our second or first or third left back. He hasn't played on the wings at all so far, and at this point in the season, at this point of it's only 3 games, and granted, but like at this point, it looks like he's not going to be playing on the wing, which is why we need another winger. Alaba is not going to be playing. Alaba wants to play in midfield. He's not a great midfielder. The issue with Alaba is that he's too one-footed. He is too one-footed. That is the issue. Alaba is even more one-footed than Iron Robin was. Like Alaba, he can only use his left foot, and that's it. He can't use his right to save his life, and that's just not going to work. At Bayern, that's just not going to be the case. He's also not that great in midfield. So we need a midfielder. We need a midfielder. We need a right back. That's what it boils down to. Would I change the formation? I think I wouldn't. 4-2-3-1 works. It works. It works. We could play. Yeah, we could play, I guess, a 3-4-3. Perhaps. But like we the players are used to a 4-2-3-1, and I don't see that changing, honestly. I don't see that changing at this point. Augsburg on the way to the Champions League. Hey, man. Hey. Calm down, bro. I know they're first right now. I think or second. Definitely top 2. They got 6 points. But like, calm down, son. Of all the players that left the season, I think selling Perisic was the worst decision. So do I. He put in a shift, and he was already used to the squad. He was just there already. No. Do you like the 4-2-3-1 from? I literally just talked about that a second ago. But I do like it. I do like the 4-2-3-1. I don't. Right now, it feels like we're playing a 4-2-3-1 regardless of the players that we have, which I'm not a fan of. I think we should be a little bit more flexible. But us being so rigid won us the Champions League, last season. So who am I to complain? When we were that flexible, when we switch formations every single week on the Pep, we didn't win the Champions League. We played a 4-2-3-1 all season last season. We won the Champions League. That's all I can say. Goodness, we're losing so many players. We've lost so many players, and we're potentially losing more. At this point right now, I kind of got tired of talking about it, honestly. I've been talking about it for now an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to be ending it here. Hoffenheim's attacking was brilliant today. Yeah, absolutely. The passing was brilliant. Our passing was shocking. But they did what they had to do, and it worked. It worked for them. I think Süle and Hernandez should be our main centre-backs. I mean, they pretty much are at this point, I guess. They pretty much are at this point. So, I mean, yeah. Hernandez are left-footed centre-back, and Süle are right-footed centre-back, yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, I will be ending it here, honestly. I just saw the news like that we're selling Cousins. I was like, oh, I never won. I never won. And now that I've spoken about it for an hour, I'm like, I never won. I never won. But we'll see. We will see. You really think Tyners was like the only reason we got trust for Hoffenheim? No, our passing today was shocking as well. Like, our passing was bad. Our pressing was bad. Like, our passing was atrocious, honestly. But you could put that down to, tiredness as well. It's not the only thing, but still, it is a very big factor that kind of like pushes the pieces. And once the pieces are pushed, it's very difficult to stop. And that's basically what happened today. The pieces were pushed, and the pieces were falling. I'd be damned if we get Bellerin for a right back. Bellerin would be quite expensive, I think. He'd be like 30 million, 40 million. I could imagine. So I don't think we will. Wasn't he linked to Paris Saint-Germain? I don't know whether they're still interested in him or not. Leroy Sané played like me, drunk. Yeah. He had some. Leroy Sané had some good moments, but like his overall play wasn't great. But he had some good moments, but like he needs more. The most frustrating thing with him, honestly, is that when he like misplaces a pass or whatnot, he gets visibly like he's like, instead of like chasing the ball back, he's like, which I want him to like stop being that frustrated and like chase the ball back. If you're making a wrong pass, okay, everyone makes a wrong pass in their life, but chase the ball, win it back, then start another attack, these kind of things. But hopefully that improves, I guess. Hopefully that aspect of his game improves. But ladies and gentlemen, I will be calling it quits right here. I will be seeing all of you in the next one, everyone. Hopefully all of you have a good evening, good night. I know it's quite late right now, but yeah, I will be seeing all of you in the next one. Peace out, everyone. Hopefully by the time I wake up tomorrow, we have at least a few players. Hopefully none of our players will be sold, but at this point, who knows? At this point, who knows? Anyway, though, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all then. Peace out and